This edition of the Ridley Report is brought to you by... Standing here with Stepanek, I should say, who is running for executive council. And basically, in New Hampshire, the executive council is a little bit like a bunch of vice presidents that get in the way of the president or governor and stop him from spending too much money. Is that halfway right?
Yeah, actually, I've been out campaigning.
Well, you say they're more effective than vice presidents, is what this gentleman said.
Because as I've gone around, and there's 25 towns plus the cities of Nashua and Keene in my district here, and as I've gone around and I've actually set up meetings with and met every single board of selectmen in the district now. And inevitably, I get that same question: what exactly does the executive council do? And there's three major things that they do. They appoint all the judges in the state. They appoint all the department heads and commissioners in the state. And most importantly, they have to review and approve every single state contract over $5,000. And when we spend $5 billion a year, wouldn't you like someone with just a little bit of business experience looking at those contracts?
And so that's what you have, business experience.
And yeah,
you run a company right now, or?
Actually, my background is graduated from Villanova University with a degree in finance and economics. Then I like to say I was too young and too foolish to know any better. I started my own business at the age of 26. I had $2,000, a machine I didn't know how to run, the basement of an old mill building. And over the next 25 years grew that business, and when I got in the legislature 6 years ago, I retired and sold it, and ended up, I had almost 140 employees working for me at that point in time. So I've got a very strong business background. I know the trials and tribulations that small business goes through. Along the way,
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I need to narrate just a little bit. I should point out that we are actually at a little bitty rally that's going on outside the spot where John McCain is going to appear a little bit later today. But I did want to ask you a couple in terms of policy questions. The Executive Council was pretty big in the news a couple years ago as to what it was going to do about Real ID. If Real ID issues come up before you again, are you going to join the rest of the Executive Council in opposing the federal attempt to impose a national identity card on New Hampshire?
And again, I do not support the national identity card. I believe that is going in the wrong direction. It's taking states' rights away. And I believe in order to get that passed, that has to go through the legislature. They actually have to change the laws in the state of New Hampshire to accept the Real ID.
It was generally agreed, though, last time that, in 06 and 07, that the Executive Council could stop that if they wanted to. They could stop New Hampshire from having a national identity card participation.
And we have effectively done that, and we've actually, I don't know if you've gone through and got your new license yet or not, gone through that process of your new driver's license, but they've significantly changed the look of the new license and put a lot of security into it, and you have to wait actually 4 to 6 weeks to get your license. They give you a temporary license because they do literally a background check on you.
Are you saying that's good?
Well, it's better than a national ID card. This was the compromise that we did, so it's still all controlled by the state of New Hampshire. So they're just checking to make sure that you don't have any outstanding criminal warrants and so on and so forth.
Well, it kind of reminds me a little bit of what General Jaruzelski used to say about Poland. We're cracking down on our Poles so the Russians don't have to.
But it is still significantly better than going into a national database with the bureaucracy of the federal government overseeing you, so to speak, and that is, to me, a very scary situation. In the state of New Hampshire, if you have a problem, you still have your state legislators, your state senators, your executive councils that you can go to, and you can get results, and you can get solutions, and you can get answers. If you're stuck in the federal bureaucracy, God help you.
Yeah. And what would you do? I mean, can you pledge that you aren't going to, like, any kind of tax increase comes before, something that's going to raise spending significantly in front of the Executive Council? Will you stop it? Or help stop it?
I have signed the tax pledge every cycle.
Which tax pledge?
The general tax pledge. The Taxpayers Association puts through a tax pledge that says, whoa.
Somebody's excited.
Yes. But, you know, I've always opposed any type of sales tax, income tax, and, you know, I think for us, we need to look at spending is the problem. We don't have a revenue problem, we have a spending problem. And so one of the things that I think I can bring to the council is making sure that we're spending the money effectively and efficiently, the taxpayers' money, and just make sure that we're getting the best bang out of every dollar that we're spending as a state.
All right, well, Mr. Stepanek, Stepanek, I should keep saying it wrong, but I'm getting used to saying it. I hope to get more used to saying it in the future.
Excellent.
Thanks for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I don't know if you were aware of this or not, but there are some pretty scary things happening in this building, the State House in Concord, New Hampshire. Fortunately, there is the New Hampshire Liberty Alliance. They're fighting back, but they need your help. They offer free training. They offer courses, ways that you can learn how to be most effective in fighting for liberty inside the State House. Visit nhliberty.org to find out when the next class is. If you take it, you'll be a much more effective voice at stopping these folks from taking away your liberty. nhliberty.org